Today we're checking out the Headache Sound Electronics PBA1. This is a pedal board amplifier. That's right, it's a low profile amplifier that can fit on your pedal board if you've got a large pedal board. Let's see how it sounds. Howdy folks, this is Shane. Today we're checking out this. This is the PBA1 amplifier. It's a pedal board amplifier from Headache Sound Electronics. Let's check it out. Here's the amplifier up close. Now as you can see, it's nice and simple to use. We have a volume control here, which is your master output volume, a presence control, a 3-band EQ, a gain control, so clean this way, dirty that way, and a boost control. It's independent as well. You can click the boost on and off your solo tones or to fatten it out just whenever you like, just by using this, and that's sets just for this control. So I'm glad they included that. It saves you needing another volume boost pedal in your chain. I think that's really great. We also have an effects loop button over here as well, because there's an effects loop on the back of the amplifier over here. So as you can see, the ascend and return is here. You plug your guitar in over here. The direct out / headphone out you can select via this toggle switch. So if you're going to a sound card or a PA system, you want to have the toggle switch in the up position. We'll test this out as well. Now it also comes with its own power supply, which is great, but this is also really cool over here as well. I'm looking at this backwards, so it's a bit confusing. But essentially this is an output to power your other pedals. So use the power supply that it comes with, and then you can also power your other pedals, which is what I'll be doing in this particular video. We have a cab out over here as well, which will be going to my Marshall 2x12. On the front of the pedal, we have 3 different toggle switches. We have a deep voicing control, so less, normal, and more. We'll get into this in the video, but essentially what it's doing is just adding more oomph to the sound, more low end, more lower mids, all that kind of stuff. Depending on your guitar will depend on how you want to set that up. The preamp will go either American or British or bypass. So this is an interesting voicing. I noticed this mostly when I had the gain cranked or I ran pedals into it. That's when it seemed to make the most difference. I didn't notice it with cleaner tones so much. But essentially the British is based on a Marshall, the American is set more to a Fender type of tone. The bypass is good if you're using, say, another pedal into this, like some sort of digital modeling pedal. You could then set it to bypass and it wouldn't give you any of these preamp sort of models there. So yeah, this is an analog pedal, by the way, as well. The cab sim is essentially great for when you're recording direct to your sound card, or whether you're going into the PA. You can get a 212, a 412A, and a 412B. They all sound completely different to each other as well, which is awesome. One thing I should mention about this, I've actually got an 8 ohm cabinet. So this is an 80 watt amp at 4 ohms, running it into this particular cab at 8 ohms. I'm gonna get somewhere between 50 and 55 watts, which is still plenty loud. Trust me, in here it's brutal. I got my sound pressure level meter on the floor. I have no problems with volumes, but if you do own a 4 ohm cab, you're gonna get the most out of this in terms of its headroom and volume and all that kind of stuff. A huge thanks to Headache Sound Electronics for sending this out. I really appreciate it. This sort of thing caught my eye and I was pretty keen to test it out. This is a completely unpaid review of this as well. You're gonna hear my opinions at the start, throughout the video, and also at the end. I'll give you my final thoughts on this particular amp. Let's get into it. All right, let's get into it. Today I'm playing my PRS SE. This is all stock. We're gonna start with some dirty tones on the amplifier. So I've got the gain cranked all the way open. We've got the volume at about 1 o'clock, and even at 1 o'clock, it's ticking in at around 115 dB, so it's pretty loud. It's the 2x12 Marshall box, mic'd up with one Rode M3 microphone. I've got all the EQs set to about 1 o'clock. We're on the British setting to start with, and we have the deep setting set to less, so it's gonna take out a little bit of low end, but then we'll also go to normal and more, and we'll try that in a sec. It's just a way you can sort of fatten up your sound, depending on what kind of guitar you're playing as well. In the effects loop, we're running the Prisoner delay pedal because the amplifier doesn't have any reverb or anything like that, so running something into the effects loop sounds a whole lot better to my ear. We'll try dry as well, but for right now, this is how it sounds with a bit of dirt. So here we go. All right, that was neck pickup. So as you can hear, it's a great, just dirty tone for blues. If you turn down, it cleans up. Back up for lead. So that's coming in at 117 decibels. I got my meter on the floor. Over to bridge. Now that's with the gain all the way up, but the cool thing about this is you can take it up a notch thanks to the boost control. Let's click that in, and this will give you just great lead tones. Let's see how far we can push that. Boost all the way up now. And that's without any overdrives. That's just the amp. That sounds great. All right, let's turn the boost off. And what I'm going to do now is show you this deep control. So we've still got a dirty sound. I'll just clean it up a little bit. Here we go. Over to normal. Already fatter in the lows, but wait till you hear more. Now that sort of has a little bit too much low end for my ear, but if you're playing split coil or single coil, that might work really well. I've just split the coils here. Let's have a listen. I think that works really well. And now with the Royal Flush overdrive pedal pushing the front end of the amplifier. So I've set the amp up for more of a cleaner tone. Let's take a listen to that. All right. And now with the pedal on, this is the higher gain side of the Royal Flush. try another guitar. Let's try that now on a mini humbucker thanks to this PURESALEM Mendiola. Here we go. Yeah. Now both sides of the Royal Flush, this is going to get loud and it's going to get distorted. So I went from the mini humbucker over to the single coil Tally neck pickup and it sounded huge. And one thing I've noticed, I turned my guitar volume down. It might be the tinnitus that I'm developing right now. It's a joke, by the way. It's the fact that the amp's pretty dead quiet when it's at idle, which is awesome. So that sounds pretty cool. While you can also get some dead clean tones, what I did notice about this particular amplifier is the fact you have to crank up the volume most of the way up and have the gain no further up than about 12 o'clock. And then it still retains that clean sound. Now the gain control obviously will make the overall sound louder as well, but there's a sweet spot between getting a clean tone and getting the right amount of volume as well. So just fiddle around. What I found for the sound I like, I actually like the gain control up a little more, but this is more of a dead clean tone because I know people like that as well. So here we go, this is neck. Delay off. So I can't hear any distortion in that tone at all, at least to my ear, and that's with the delay pedal actually off as well. I much prefer it with it on. I like just having a little bit of ambience in the tone, but that's how it sounds dead dry as well. And just for those who are interested, this is how it sounds dead dry and clean with some overdrive as well. Here we go. Let's have a listen to how the amplifier sounds direct into a sound card. That's right, you can disconnect the cab, which I've done. So this is silent home recording. You could use it that way. You could use it straight into a PA system without the cab. That's what's great about it. It's got that analog circuitry. It's going to handle your pedals perfectly as well. So here we go. This is neck pickup with the toggle switch on the cab sim to the far left. Toggle switch in the middle. Sounds quite a lot different all the way to the right. I much prefer the 212. I think this one sounds the best. Maybe because my ears are adjusted to my 212 box in the room, but that's that kind of sound. It's warmer and sort of fuller sounding, and I kind of reckon that works the best for recording as well. Let's try it now with the overdrive on. there's nothing wrong with that tone. You could use that on an album. It sounds good. So about 2 or 3 albums ago, I used this kind of technology to record all of our guitar parts on an originals album. It was so much easier to get a good sound than having a loud amp in the room all the time when you're trying to track guitar. So being able to record like this and get your tone is pretty cool. And lastly, let's rock out. I've cranked the drive, I've cranked the boost, and I've got the amp set up. So we've got the preamp set to British, the cab sim set in the center, and the deep is set to normal. The effects loop is currently off. Yeah. Thanks for watching, folks. My name's Shane. If you have any comments or questions, leave them below and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So what do I think of this? I think it rocks. Its versatility is awesome. What I like about it is it will do clean, it will do off clean. You can get that full-blown rock tone just by using the amp without actually having to use any pedals. I think that's great. One of the small limitations is I wish it kind of had some sort of reverb or delay built in, but that's sort of pushing it. I love the fact though that they've got an effects loop. You can run your favorite reverb or delay straight through the effects loop like what I was doing. As of shooting this, I don't actually have any reverb pedals. I'm spewing out. I really would have liked to have showcased that in this particular amplifier video. But that said, it handles pedals extremely well. I love the fact you can go direct to the sound card and get some really usable tones that way. That's a really great option if you're just sitting around at home, you want to record something, or you want to just even listen to it through headphones. That's the kind of sound that you'll hear. I think that's pretty cool. In terms of all the toggle switch options, I think the deep setting is definitely one of the best features on this pedal. Less, normal, and more. Depending on what you're playing, you'll get some different results and good results, depending on your speaker cab as well. It really fattens things out, or you can go for more of a tight bottom end. I think that's pretty sweet. Now the American and British preamp setting, I didn't really hear any difference until I cranked the gain up or until I ran a pedal into it. Let me know if you could hear a difference on that on the cleaner tones. I don't know if I could, but yeah, anyway, I thought I'd point that out. The cab sim sounds best to my ear on the 212 by a mile, but this is all subjective stuff. Someone might like the 412 option, one of those two, more than the 2x12. But for me, that's what I like. I like the fact that the buttons feel good. They're nice and soft to push, and they don't have that hard click as well, which is great. So they're silent. When you tap them on, you're not going to hear any thud come through your actual amplifier. These are built extremely well. They're not that heavy either. They may be a little bit large for most pedal boards. I don't know if this would fit on my particular pedal board, but if I had a larger one, it would definitely go on there. There's nothing to also stop you just from having it on your amp and running your pedals straight into it on the floor like you would normally either way. But you know, it can be used on a pedal board if you've got a larger pedal train or something like that, or rock board. You won't have any problems fitting this on. One thing I should point out, while this does do a dead clean tone, it doesn't do a dead clean tone that's extremely loud. It's loud, but it's not extremely loud. It's nowhere near like how it would sound when you're running this particular thing dirty. So if you're a fan of a dead clean loud tone, this might not be the amp for you. It does kind of do it, but you've got to make sure you have the gain control at about 12 o'clock, and that makes it louder. If you have it anywhere below that, you'll get that dead clean sound, but it won't be as loud. So for my money, somewhere around 11 or 12 o'clock on the gain control with the volume up will give you a nice clean or slightly off clean tone that will be great for pedals and all that kind of stuff as well. But it's not a big loud clean tone, at least not with my rig running it at around 55 watts. A huge thanks to Headache Sound Electronics for sending this out. I really appreciate it. If you want to find out more about them, all the links will be on screen and in the description below. And if you lasted this long, don't forget to subscribe and also click that little notification bell. You get notifications anytime I upload a new video or go live. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane. I'll catch you soon. See ya.